We are calling Fari Hamzei. He's the founder of Hamzei Analytics, and he joins us every Wednesday
Watch
morning.
Commander.
I'm Seawolf. I'm betting Seawolf.
Watch Commander.
Oh
Yes!
man,
Yes! He
Fari
gets it.
Hamzei,
Yes! Yes!
you are
Yes!
This
Thank
live
is
you,
private
Fari.
color. I don't get private calls this early in the morning.
Thank
only
I'm
you.
so
from
tall, cute,
Benzinga.
I'm blonde. And neither of you guys are.
Oh, no,
Oh, I'm all
sorry.
over it today. That was huge.
Fari. It's Joel is out this week.
Yeah.
You're on with Dennis and myself. What are you
Yes,
seeing
I
in the
can
market
recognize.
today?
Yes. Two brunettes. Yes, I understand.
I'm a redhead.
Right. Well, close enough.
Well,
Well, remember, I'm going to the land of the blondes.
oh,
So,
that's true. That's true.
Florida. Yeah.
Ari, what are
What's
your
going on?
thoughts? Okay, so we've had a lot of banks report here in the last 24 hours. Yesterday we had JP Morgan report a disappointing quarter. This morning we had Bank of America report a pretty good quarter. Wells
How
Fargo
about Wells
looked
Fargo?
okay. Wells Fargo looked okay, but then it turned here for the worst, and now it's actually trading down 70 cents or 1.5% in the pre-market. So they've come out slamming Wells Fargo. We're going to get Citi and Goldman tomorrow. What are your thoughts,
Well,
first of all, on the banks, and then thoughts on Citigroup and Goldman?
well, if you were a member of our option package, you would know what position to take. We did talk about Tico asking for a new wardrobe. That's my co-pilot when we trade FOMC and non-farm payroll. That's a little doggy in the pictures. Well, Tico wanted a new wardrobe, so we bought a bunch of food spreads. And let's see how we did on JPM, because, but first of all, JPM first time reporting at night. We are down 1.38. Thank you, Jamie. All right. And then Wells Fargo, we were also put spread. Mamma mia, I like this already.
You like
Maury,
this one.
even Maury likes this. Yes, even Maury likes this. Not just Tico. Yeah. Here's the problem. I think these guys will do what they've done in the past. This has nothing to do with banks necessarily. It's overall. We said in one of our commentaries a couple of days ago, I think. I think that on the earnings, they can always, earnings you can manage if you're, especially a big operation. You can always manage, especially if you're not on cash basis. Big ones cannot, they're on accrual. So you can manage that. The revenues, you cannot. You basically, kind of report it. But what's really going to be predominant force here is guidance. And nobody with the current exogenous news that you see, especially overseas, can come in and say, things are going to be rosy. So all going to go right down. And earnings are rear mirror. Guidance is what's matter. MD&A, management discussion analysis, that you have to follow your 10Q or 10K, depending what fiscal year you have. So I was at Echo. That's what we had to do too. We always, the finance guys would report that what the numbers are going to be, but the board went in there and said, wait a second, what are we, saying forward? What's our guidance? At this juncture, I think everybody's going to be a little bit cautious, and people will get rid of that. They'll sell first and take names later. It's just like it's brutal. You shoot first and then court-martial later when you're in doubt, and that's what we see.
What about Netflix here, moving to sectors on? They're going to report
Netflix.
tonight. Yeah, Netflix is going to report.
You want a
earnings here
forward
tonight.
intel. You want a forward intel. Okay.
Well, we can
Okay,
come back. You want to go to
Taylor.
Intel?
Okay,
We can go to Intel
Let's do
first.
Intel.
No, Intel. Not Intel, not INTC, Intel, intelligence.
Oh.
You want to know what we think of
Oh.
Netflix.
Yes.
Okay, Murray.
This far.
Murray wants some discount. Okay, Murray. Okay,
Go
hold
to
on,
Netflix.
hold
I want some Intel on Netflix.
on. All right, hold on. Let me take a look. First of all, how's it? We have not picked a trade yet, but that was obviously we were preparing. We did a couple of stuff in advance to get rid of what else we're thinking about, concentrate on that. Just off the cuff, I'm not looking at vols, just looking sigma levels, which is a very docile way of looking at walls. I would take a slight put spread. I would put, and I wouldn't, it's not really situated for kind of a big move. I don't think so. But I would take a put spread of, 110s. We may see 100, maybe 105 would be really ideal.
I didn't
I'd be
price
taking
this.
five is spread, 5 point spread.
I didn't price a straddle on this yet. Did you take a look at the straddle? What are the options players expecting for a movement here?
I haven't looked at. Yeah, but right now it's a little bit too late. Remember, it's reset now. It's
Yeah.
early in the morning. Yeah, it's a little bit too late. We should seen it like at the close yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is right now because some plasmas start resetting. So you
Right.
could see it off reading. Yeah, be careful. I would wait for the first few ticks and then look at it. But I would say I would probably take a 5 handle spread. Buy the 100 puts and I'm saying buy. Hold on. What am I looking at? Yeah. Buy 100 puts and sell the 105 puts. Now, if you want to get more aggressive, if you think you got a chance right now, the standard deviation is about 5 handles. You can do buy 105s and sell 100s. But I would want to buy. I would want to go forward a little bit and buy the November. I think based on our market timing, as you know. By the way, we launched a product called Proactive Market Timing. Big hit. 135 customers came in the first 48 hours. We're expecting a low next week. Okay, so I would buy a little bit forward to have a little bit extra time. So you're not buying weeklies. Remember, weeklies are very, very expensive, just because of the vols and the way the theta is. I would buy in November. So if the next week plus or minus works, you could make it. You could run on this.
I did just price out the straddle on the closing prices, and it was a good point that you're making that the options market isn't open here this morning, so that can move around. But as the close, it was looking around 17 points for the 110. So they're expecting about a 17-point move here on Netflix, which seems a little bit extreme to me, doesn't it, Fari? I don't know.
Yes. The way the single channels are, and the width they are, and the pattern.
Yeah.
17 is a little bit too much. But remember, you remember right now, what do you call it? The market makers are shopping for new ski, equipment, and they're planning their vacations. You need to fund that. That's what they want you to do. That's what you do. You fund the market makers. Remember, come the spring, they're looking for jet skis for their neighbors' kids. They already have it for their own kids and the boat. They're doing it for their neighbors' kids. Yeah. So
that's 17 straddle sold to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's too rich. Murray will never touch that. Murray will say, "Oh no, too expensive." He wants a discount.
Okay, so we talked, and you were giving me the intel on Netflix. Now give me the intel on Intel, because INTC popped last night off of their earnings report here. Now it's selling back off on some cautious calls during the conference call there last night. We are trading down here on Intel, about 72 cents in the pre-market. Thoughts on Intel, Fari?
We were also short on Intel. We really haven't taken any positive side here. We had some trades from before. We have an SMH long kind of hedge. I think they're still holding up. I think they're more vulnerable than the prices show. We should pull back a little bit further, but we'll see. Now, the resistance is at the monthly 0.6. That would be really ideal for this strategy. That is, if they sell, they cannot get over monthly 0.6, the center line. This baby. You may see 25 on these. And not immediately. Now, wait a second. You remember on Apple? I called, what was it, 107, whatever I called. And people make fun of me. It was at 130. And you know where we are on Apple. These are monthly targets. It doesn't happen tomorrow. Within a month or two, you can get there. Because you're as good as one delta bar forward, okay? So if you're looking at monthly, maybe a month, maybe a two, but if it sells here, you could see this at 25, because that's the next level lower. I think Intel is in trouble, basically because the move to mobile, and what they disappointed last night was the cloud. What they think of how they're going to sell, and they just issued a brand new, very high-end processor. I think it's Xeon D as Delta, but the cloud services, which is all data centers, they're disappointed also. They didn't sell as much. So you're not selling mobile. You're not selling on cloud. What are you doing, Murray? Come on.
Fari, what about something like Twitter? You know, we had the announcement of Jack Dorsey as a
Oh,
permanent
please. Oh,
CEO, their
please. You have to
layoffs.
this is too early. This is against the Geneva Convention.
It's
Do
not
you
too
have to torture
early.
me this early in the
It's
morning? Come
pre-market
on.
prep.
I hate Twitter.
All right.
But you trade Twitter. How are you looking at
I
it?
know, because that's why I hate them. Because they didn't deliver. Murray, if you don't deliver, we hate you. Money is not cheap and it's not free. Look, these guys cannot figure anything out. I think, to me, the biggest mistake they did is keeping Dorsey.
Really?
Yeah, I would keep Jack. Jack was a founder. The company is much bigger than the founder. Yeah, we go through cycles in the VC.
Oh, yeah.
They need to bring a brand new, fresh blood and kick ass and clean up shop and take names. Keeping the founder, keep him on the board. That's fine. Let me worry about the stock. But, operational-wise, no. And he's also involved with Square. No, too busy. This baby is on, what do you call it, on life support right now. Look at the pattern. Very, very poor choice by the board. I was very disappointed.
It just can't seem to get it going.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think if they would have went outside, I think it would have had a better lift. But so
I'm a fascist. I don't, cancer, you go after it with a knife. You cannot just sit there and say, well, let's make this guy see what happens. It took him, 2 months to go with Jack? Come on. By the way, that's his sign. That's his handle, @Jack. Probably the first one ever created on Twitter. The point is, he's a good guy, don't get me wrong, but not at this stage of the company's development. These guys are on life support. What are we doing going with founders?
Yeah, Fari, I think that's a great point. You need a different type of person to found a company than to lead it at this point in its life cycle. It's an enormous company right now, and they're really struggling. And
Exactly.
the layoffs, in my opinion,
I don't understand the layoffs too. And Brianna, me and Brianna were talking about this yesterday. Like, if you're a legacy company, like a Hewlett Packard or something, and you're looking to cut costs because you're not getting the revenue growth. But this is a startup. This is a company that should be still in its infancy. And when you're coming, in, you're starting to lay people off here right now. It's telling me that they can't figure out what the hell they're doing because they can't get these people jobs. So that's concerning.
Well, the strategy probably is maybe we'll see an announcement of the strategy change. But the other problem I have is, Jack is coming up with a strategy, but wait a second, he's running another startup called Square, which is much younger in its infancy, takes much more attention. It's a lose-lose decision they made. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I got a cold on this airplane coming back. There's got to be a law against this. There was a kid behind me that was just crying for a 2-year-old, crying for 2 hours of the 3-hour flight back from Florida. There's got to be a law against that.
Well, bring
I think I want to ask Obama and Clinton to do something. They keep on writing laws, taxing everybody. Do something about sick kids in the airplane.
Yeah.
now he's sick. You got to bring head plugs. You got to bring a face mask. You got to bring the mask there to breathe in through her.
Oh, I do have.
You're a veteran of flying. You know.
I put a Bose after. I found my Bose was my duffel bag. Got my Bose on. Noise canceling. But air mask next time. You'll see. I'll come in with one of those we were on the F-14s.
Who'd you fly with?
American. Come on.
You're with American. Okay, I was wondering. We got Delta reported their earnings here this morning. I
hate Delta.
You hate Delta.
Airlines.
Which one? Okay, so if you had to pick an airline and you fly a lot, who do you usually fly with? Is it always American?
Oh, Delta and United are both terrible. Sometimes it's special destinations. You got to go with good Spirit. But Delta or United, basically.
So
and American, I'm sorry.
Delta, United,
I
usually do Delta. I like Delta.
Delta's the hub in Detroit here too, so it's actually a really nice terminal here, and I like flying Delta as well. Speaking of Delta, they did report earnings here this morning. Stock is trading up about 70 cents in the pre-market. What are your thoughts here on the airlines overall? I mean, oil has come back slightly from the lows. We're back up over $50, at least for a while, and now we're looking that, obviously the airlines are still benefiting from low oil prices, but not as low as they were a month ago. What are your thoughts on the airlines going forward?
I think that the oil component of the airlines is probably very neutral impact because they're hedging. They're
Yeah.
getting better and better, and in generally speaking. But no question on their fees. That's where the monies are. I mean, have you tried to try to make a booking? How many choices you go through? How many things they offer you back and forth? And then once you get to the airport, more choices. You know, this and that. So they're making decent money, I think, on fees. I think the customer satisfaction is horrible. Because of they're running cattle runs, booked to the every seat is taken, and also delays. Now, for example, on the orbits, every airline that they report, it shows each flight what their average delays are. Okay, that is becoming a concern. I've never been a fan of airlines. I hate unions, and I hate. I worry about the cost of jet fuel. I'm kind of gecko on that issue. But if I were going to pick him, probably Delta would be the one I would look at, and JetBlue. Now, JetBlue has not done really all that well recently, but let me pick that. They're kind of a little bit of pullback there. Mm-hmm. But if you look at it on the monthly charts, you'll see what I'm talking about. You know, they've doubled in the last year. So,
Fari, what about something like TripAdvisor? They're announcing a partnership with Priceline this morning. The stock seemed to respond pretty well to that.
Never. What's the symbol? I've never looked at it.
TRIP.
TRI trip. Oh, trip.
Yes.
Somebody's tripping over there. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. I see the move here. Yeah. Wow. 21%, Murray. I have no idea. But remember, they were at monthly lows. I mean, they're getting what Seinfeld would call a courtesy flush. They were at monthly lows on the Sigma channels. They're negative twos. They were flush. This stock used to be $106. Mm-hmm. Now it's 66.
Mm-hmm. And now it's 82.5 or 84 on the.
Well, that's before that's a daily. Yeah. I mean, that's as of close yesterday. Right now, you have a 20% pop, which is very respectable for that side of stock. But these guys have really been kicked hard, and they tried to get through zero sig, the Sigma channel, zero on monthly. That's what pattern I was talking about earlier. For example, on Intel, they were disappointing, and they came back down to 66. The zero sig was 83. Now they're coming back. Looks like they're going to go back up. Here's a good test. Well, look at this after the market opens. We're on the monthly, no trust will show it down. But at current price, they're going back up to test that zero sig. I bet you it's not going to hold. And we can't look at it by end of the day today. It's not enough. But let's say by next week or 2 weeks from now, we should look at TRIP. You'll see it's rotating down.
We've been on the line with Fari Hamzei. He's the founder of Hamzei Analytics. He joins us every Wednesday morning. Fari, thanks for coming on the show today. We're looking forward to having you back next week.
Thank you all. See you guys.
Thanks, Fari.